Protests in Iran are well into their third week. Harrowing visuals of death and destruction have emerged from the West Asian country. A US-based rights group says that more than 540 people have been killed so far. On the other hand, thousands of Iranians have come out on the streets in support of the government. Across different parts of Iran, locals have come out in large numbers, holding the national flag and photographs of the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The rally is also overlapped with funeral processions for Iranian officials that were killed in the unrest, as well as protesters killed. Pro-government rallies, meanwhile, have been happening not just in Tehran, but in other cities and provinces as well. On Sunday last, the Iranian government declared 3 days of national mourning for those that it referred to as martyrs. It included members of the security forces who've been killed. Meanwhile, Iranian news agency Tasnim has reported that 114 officials across security agencies have been killed since the protests erupted on the 28th of December last year. This figure is the total death toll from across provinces till Sunday, which is the 11th of January. The official number could be well higher. The highest death count is reportedly from Isfahan province, where 30 IRGC officials have been killed in the clashes. Authorities say this is the highest number of officials who have been killed in any movement or unrest so far. In the capital, Tehran, videos show a blaze and thick black smoke emanating from several shops and a bank in the neighborhood. CCTV footage from Tehran, meanwhile, shows the inside of Abu Zar Mosque, which was vandalized last week. In the days that followed, reports emerged of the mosque being set on fire as the situation spirals in the country. The deadly clashes have killed not just demonstrators and security officials, but many innocent bystanders as well. Eyewitness accounts from the medics and locals claim that a bank employee and a few others who were not involved in the demonstrations have also been killed. These individuals were either shot at or hit by a brick on their head, leading to the death. As unrest and chaos spirals in Iran, digital blockade largely remains in place. According to an international monitor, the shutdown has crossed the 90-hour mark with no announcement or decision from authorities to lift the internet ban. That is about that has been happening inside Iran. But remember, outside the country, Iranian diaspora has been reviving up support for the protesters in their homeland. In London, the demonstrations initially took place in front of the Iranian embassy and later moved to the 10 Downing Street in front of the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's residence. Over 2,000 people gathered in Paris, waving Iran's flag from before the Islamic Revolution in 1979, chanting no to the terrorist Islamic Republic. The police did not allow them to approach the Iranian embassy. The vast majority of protesters were in favor of the return of the Iranian monarchy to power, specifically of Reza Pahlavi. In Istanbul, meanwhile, demonstrations voicing support for the Iranian protesters gathered despite rainfall. The police cordoned off the area outside the Iranian consulate and the crowd was kept away from the mission. Right, now I'm joined by Mr. Hafid Boutaleb. He is Geopolitics and International Relations Analyst. He's joining us live from Casablanca at the moment. Good evening. Welcome to WION, Mr. Boutaleb. I want to start by asking you about the Iranian diaspora, how they have been voicing their support, because obviously many of them have left Iran citing the very reasons that the protesters right now inside Iran are saying. There are economic concerns and there is the so-called political suppression that they feel.
Well, you're right mentioning the Iranian diaspora, and thank you for the invitation before talking. Sorry for that. Yes, the position, the stance of the Iranian diaspora is critical to know how far is the regime is now unpopular, because many of these diaspora are still connected with relatives in Iran, and previously they were avoiding to expose themselves. And if now they are stepping forward, it means that the anger has reached unprecedented levels. But also, it is important to see the popularity of the heir to the throne, Ali Reza, who claims now to be the person for the accurate person to lead the transition. And to check his affirmation, the behavior of the diaspora is critical. If we notice, like the videos you were showing, people raising the flag, the
Yes.
monarchy flag, as we noticed in London, Paris, etc. If it goes massive outside Iran, it means that is massive even inside Iran. So the diaspora will reflect quite faithfully the situation from inside Iran. What I want to say is, it's not because of 50 years of regime and some people are exiled since 50 years that they are disconnected from Iran. The diaspora still reflects the reality of the Iranian street, despite the claims of the officials of the Iranian regime.
Mr. Butleb, while you talk about the diaspora, I also want to talk about the pro-government protests that have been witnessed across Iran today. That is also a large number. It's seen as a counter-protest to what is happening. How do you see it? Do you see that as the regime's move to sort of, suppress the ongoing protests, or is it an answer to what they have been saying? Because the pro-government protesters are saying that, look, this government, this regime has worked for the benefit of Iran and they should continue. And the protests that are happening against the regime are those that are funded by America and Israel.
This is, of course, a too simplistic and too simple perspective. Let's recall just some historical facts. Since 2009, the elections, or presidential elections of 2009, and the failure of the regime to renew itself and rigging the results to steal the victory from the reformists who belonged to the regime and keep it for the conservative, this has trickled since then successive demonstrations and unrests in Iran. There were the 2009 unrest related to this election, the 2016 unrest, the 2017-18 unrest, at the occasion of the 40th anniversary of the so-called revolution, the 2019-20 unrests, where, let's recall, the Iranian military have shot down an airplane belonging to the national Iranian air company. So the regime is in a harsh difficulty since 2009, since it has locked all horizon and since it has failed to renew itself and excluded the reformists who before took part to the revolution, were faithful to Ali Khamenei, but were excluded totally from the power. And this has led to this stalemate where only the very harsh conservatives are in charge in Iran. So yes, when you mention these demonstrations, I will say that it is very important and critical for the regime now to keep the loyalists, because there are doubts spreading even within the loyalists to the regime. Also because of this inability of the regime to renew itself, for the succession crisis around Ali Khamenei, and you know that his son, Mortaba Khamenei, is also mentioned as a potential successor. So it shows how far the crisis, the succession crisis, the economic crisis, because of also of the decrease in oil prices, has severely struck the regime. So far, I think that.
So we'll have to wait and watch how this moves forward. I'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Mr. Hafid Butleb, for joining us. Let's wait and watch what happens in the next few weeks and months for Iran. For now, of course, the situation remaining tense. Thank you very much for joining us.
With pleasure.